Hello, hello, and welcome back to another episode of The Letter. Last time, we gathered up everyone. Everyone's safe and sound, because of my pro skills, totally not because we cheated. um, but despite that, we didn't really get much work done. I wonder if that's just the result of my choices. Like, if I did better choices during that meeting, they would have figured out more. Because if that's the case, then we really sucked. Because like no one knew anything besides Rebecca's history thing. So yeah, then Kyoko attacked us and tried to drag us into the closet, but fast reactions. You don't want to be in a closet alone with Kyoko. Well, maybe you do. Depends on your taste. That reminds me. Just before we get into this, I have kind of a funny story because a couple of nights ago, I had a dream. And it's like a weird like Ju-on crossover with Batman. And then like when I woke up, I'm like, oh man, I definitely gotta talk about that in the letter. And then I like slowly realized that wait a minute, it's not a real movie because I legitimately thought it was like, oh man, the new Ju-on movie's kind of sick. But then I slowly realized, wait a minute, the new Ju-on movie fucking sucked ass, and why the that it was just so funny because I thought I like watched a real movie when I was in my sleep, and I'm pretty sure the only reason I dreamt of that was because of the letter, because we kept saying stuff Kyoko or just Kyoko, which is obviously in reference to the girl from Ju-on. So I think all that did some like mental note to me, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, why would there be a movie with Batman Batman facing off against Kyoko? But it was a pretty sick movie. I don't know. I just thought it was funny. The letters twisting my brain, dude, influencing my dreams a bit. At least it was a fun dream. Spooky, but I liked spooky dreams. Anyways, that's a little tidbit I thought I'd share. Yeah. Anyways, we're at the park. We've escaped the apartment. Nowhere is safe. But you assume that a place full of people is probably more safe than a place not full of people. So, anyways, let's see what we can do. I think the next objective is to start researching the mansion itself. A dreary downpour starts off the Monday. Very opposite to what the scene is showing. Oh, never mind. Although it doesn't last for more than an hour, the dark clouds lift just after the sun peeks over the horizon. I stand corrected. Brief as it is, the rain has significantly dampened the park's usual cheery vibe. Mornings like this often mark the start of another bad week. An arrest gone wrong, another investigation leading to a dead end, or some truly fucked up shit being called in. Like that one time I was dispatched to a scene where a guy gouged his own eyeballs out and almost ate it. Based, was he on shrooms? Was a few chews away from swallowing it. In fact, lost my dinner that day.
Fun times.
Yeah, just remembering the good old days. Of course, I doubt anything can top getting cursed by a damn chain letter of all things. This is a sort of stupid thing people pass along as a prank through emails and text messages, for fuck's sake. A ghost chasing after you puts the icing on that cake. So far, all we've done is run, snoop about, read stuff, and run again. It frustrates me to no end how we're still no closer to an answer. Might be my fault. Do I even bother looking at the tree, bro? It's just gonna be embarrassing. Well, hatching maybe not. I wonder what this is probably like if people actually died. Fire we. Dude, look how long Ashton's freaking route is. Actually, oh my god. Oh my god, what is happening here? Look at all this dialogue we skipped. I think it is because we didn't kill anyone off. This is the save everyone route. And then we skipped all that. Oh my god. How, bro? How? Oh. Oh my god. Oh my god. Look at this shit. Look how long this is. What is happening? What is happening? Jesus. 6% on an Ashton, and we've done like, what, 4 or 5 videos on it? Oh man, this series is definitely going over 50 episodes. And I thought I was almost done when we were on the Zach route. Not that I'm complaining. It's a great time. I'm just surprised how much there is. Um yeah. We suck right now. Even my car reflects the state my mind is in. Photocopies of document litter every available surface, scattered all over the place, spilling from the passenger side and into the back seat, making an entire mess of what little space there is. Not that I'm any better. My last shower was 24 hours ago. I haven't slept at all, and my last meal was that chocolate porridge thing Isabella offered. Hello? I already forgot what it was called. I don't know what that noise was. I was trying to snicker. Don't diss the Filipino dessert, even though I don't eat it. It's good. The way I am now, I'll definitely get a scolding. Rebecca will definitely give me an earful and tell me to take care of myself better. Say that I'm killing myself on the job. Oh my god, so many story choices. Just going. I can already hear Isabella complaining how dark the beds under my eyes are getting, about how I reek and how I need to shower pronto.
I can rest easy when this is all over.
It's not that I can't feel the pain of hunger. With that woman chasing after you, it's difficult not to feel anything other than horror. The rush of adrenaline coursing through my veins in my desperation to survive. In fact, I can still sense the ghost of her touch from last night. Her bony digits wound tightly around my ankle, and that horrid smile she has on her as she pulls me closer. The memory is enough to send a shiver up my spine and make me antsy. Perhaps the only thing comforting about this is the sight of my gun nearby. Didn't even fire it, bro. Who knows? Maybe it'll do something. From my dashboard, sunlight glints off Ophelia's surface. Normally, I keep it hidden in a compartment. Lutzburn police regulation only allows authorized people to carry firearms, and even those are limited. I do have that authorization, but I never really saw the need for its use, when the standard issue tasers are more than good enough to incapacitate anyone. If not, I can always throw them on their back. Those judo lessons dad forced me to get as a kid has its uses too. Yo, he knows judo. Sick. On a ghost, though, all those will probably yield the same result. They're all useless. I might as well use a stick. I mean, she seems corporeal, kind of. He kind of switches in between, but who knows? Maybe she fucks up. Those judo skills will work. However, it's the feeling of ease I'm after, or what little of it I can gather from it. The awareness that I, at least, have something to protect myself with in case things go wrong. That I can still protect the people who are just depending on me despite the missteps I've taken. I bet all of these like story updates things are because they're all alive. If they're dead, then it would be totally different, right? It doesn't take the edge off, though. The feeling that your whole body has been strained far beyond its capacity. Frankly, I'm already running out of steam. The only thing pushing me right now is knowing someone's still depending on me. Oh my god. Imagine if he kept Rebecca dead, dude. Just a totally different vibe. This is like some hopeful stuff. I'm enjoying it. A stretch is still in order, though. I've been sitting here since last night. Soon I step out of the car, closing it behind me with a thud as I take in my surroundings. The rain did wonders. The morning air feels crisper and cooler than it has ever been in days. For once, the weather seems to be taking a turn for the normal. Luxembourg normal. In the distance, beyond the buildings line the horizon, dark clouds are blowing, and you're like, Aiden, why do you sound so weird? I don't know. My speech is messing up. Maybe it's because it's 1 a.m. I'm a little sleepy on a work day.
A storm might be due this evening, give or take.
But I'm down to read, man. Just might be a little funky. A shame for the people looking forward to Halloween tonight. Dude, it's Halloween. You know shit's gonna go down this day. I'm just not sure whether this is something I can look forward to as well. Still, I bask in the change it brings. Inhale, exhale, breathing in, taking in the peace, as if it'll be my last. But as with all good things, the quiet shortly comes to an end. Not necessarily a bad end. The chatter reaches my ears first, halting my... What is... Oh my god, I'm so interested in what these story things could have been. Sure enough, when I glance up, I find them Zach, Rebecca, and Isabella, just as they enter the park grounds, bags of convenience store food in hand. After last night's flight from Solemnwell, we've elected to stay the night here, unsure if our own home will be safe. Still be safe. Normally, we'd all be adverse to the idea of spending the night outside like this, but panic and distress has tainted that decision. It's not like any of us has gotten any ounce of sleep anyway. On the off chance one of us did, it only lasted but a second, or it's a fitful one. But looking at them right now, from afar, it's easy to mistake them for just a group of friends on a day out. Isabella's gesturing widely with her arms as she talks. Something funny or amusing, probably because it's soon followed by Zach's booming laughter and Rebecca's giggles. Their voices fill the atmosphere with light air, temporarily easing off the disheartening mood. It's easy to pretend we're not knee-deep in a life and death situation, the way they're acting now. If anything, it's only their appearance that betrays that mask. Slightly disheveled, beads under their eyes, an exhausted curve in their shoulders, and dragging footsteps. But the closer they get, the more obvious these signs are to the naked eye. Zach tosses an energy drink my way the moment the distance allows it. What are you drinking? Better be sugar-free energy drinks. I only approve of sugar-free ones now. Even I did buy like a 4-pack of the Monster White sugar-frees. They're pretty good. I was just gonna say, even though they make me shit blood. I swear to God, ever since every time I drank them that day, whenever I went to the washroom, it was always blood, man. Bloody. I don't know if it's from the energy drinks, but I think it has to be since it hasn't really happened since then. But you gotta risk it because they taste pretty good, dude. Isabella hands me... Sorry, I'm being really gross. Isabella hands me the other bait she's holding before seating herself on the edge of the fountain. What are you eating? Looks like meat? Maybe sandwiches? It looks like rice and meat though, with a lettuce blanket. An energy sheep. Ah yes, the sheep brand, popping in Let's Burn. The scent of warm food immediately wafts from the bed when I open it, carried further by a passing breeze. Whatever sweet sauce they drizzled over the pork wannabe. It smelled heavenly, how even the sorry-looking vegetable seems appetizing. Despite myself, without even checking exactly what this is, hunger swiftly takes over every rational thought. I dig in without waiting for them to start. The rest of them appear to be of the same mind too. Soon enough, they also start with theirs. Did I wish? Never mind. No casual talk while we fill our empty stomachs. Exhausted as we all are, food is something we can't forgo. Starvation dulls the thinking, weakens the body. If we are to survive this, we're going to have to take care of ourselves first. In a matter of minutes, we're done and dumping the empty cartons on a nearby waste bin. Along with it is the shift in the mood. Back to Dismo. Back to the problem at hand. The comfortable atmosphere from minutes ago was nice while it lasted. Admittedly, I've missed these kind of moments between us. We've never had the chance, always busy on some project work, the things we've taken for granted. Now we're realizing how valuable they are. The world has an awful sense of humor. While the ones we've just had is short-lived, it's another thing I'd want to look forward to, if we ever free ourselves from this damn curse. I like to believe there's a way. For now, we have to focus back on the present. This. Dead people. The letter. The curse. It's not simple to bring these up, but necessary.
What now? Where do we go from here?
Still meet up at the house. Marianne's still in the dungeon, I guess. It's not a question directed at anyone in particular, but they all look to me as if my face has all the answers in the world. I used to think that, I used to think so, back when I was at the top of my game and I'm still sure of everything. Now there's just uncertainty sullying whatever decision I come up with. At some point, logic has simply stopped working here, and we've started grasping at straws. Along with exhaustion, fatigue, and stress, we have enough kindling to get a fire burning. Oh! Oh shit! Argument? Why? What the heck? You hear that music and you know shit's about to go down. This is the Rochelle music, dude. Why are they fighting? What's happening? The not so pleasant kind of fire.
Well, first, we can't just stay here. That much is obvious.
But we can't just keep running like this either, Becca. Sooner or later, she'll...
As if we have a choice. We can't even go back to our own homes because that thing might get us. No, we're safe. But dying is the last thing I want to do right now, Isabella. Not to a stupid chick like you. You
Ooh,
were too
Becca.
to pick up, bring with you, and show to everyone.
Now that's just mean. That's a low blow. Come on, you're all dismissing the letter before. I mean, it is technically Isabella's fault, but still.
I didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah, Becca can definitely be a bit prickly. But also, I'm starting to, I like her more. Also, she's kind of hot. I didn't really notice that before, but in the CGs, she looks a lot better than her sprite. Though you can say that about literally everyone, I guess.
Becca, had I known...
Or the portraits,
I
even.
wouldn't have...
Hey, you two. None of us want to die to this. Just calm down. We ain't getting anywhere shouting at each other.
Whose side are you on, Zachary?
I don't even know. What is the argument? What is the argument? Rebecca wants to move locations and Isabella wants to stay and talk about it. It's not even a big argument. But what does it matter? This is so silly.
No one's. But we can't just say it's her fault. She did warn us not to open it. And both you and Ashton...
True.
That doesn't exempt her from any blame. She's still largely responsible for it.
I mean, she's technically responsible, but it's still silly.
And you're not?
Oh, I hate angry Isabella. Her eyes look fucking horrifying.
I didn't say that. Do you really think I don't blame myself for this as well?
I tried to warn all of you. None of you listened. Now you're blaming me for something I kept telling you guys since day one? You're just as responsible for this as I am.
Technically not true, but
So now,
this is
you're throwing it back
so
at us.
dumb.
We wouldn't even be having this problem if you're...
Will you two cut it out? This ain't the place for... I don't know, petty squabbles.
It is really petty, Zach.
If you don't want to get caught in it, then stay out of this, Zachary.
Oh no, Zach. Don't stop her. Let her say it. I'm sure she has plenty more to say.
Please stop. I don't want to see Isabella's face. Why is it so horrifying?
If I didn't know any better, she's already.
Already what? You want me to say it? Out loud? That I find you in this whole thing?
Oh, Rebecca's face looks freaking like she's taking a dump.
Alright, that's enough.
Calm the crowd, Ashton. Thank you. I was waiting for it.
Everyone, shut up.
True. They all falters to silence at my words, and an awkward, stifling mood descends between us. I do not mean to shout, to snap at them, to add to that kindling, not in a moment, when, anytime, anywhere she might get one of us. No, please take control. This is still such a silly argument. I mean, they're under major stress, obviously. You can understand why it's happening, but come on. From the viewer's perspective, it's silly. We're all in the same boat, yet here we are playing the blame game. Little by little, we're falling apart, caving into the pressure to the bleak situation we're trapped in. Did that ghost mean for this to happen? To divide each of us so she can pick us off one by one? Right after? Who knows? Anything's possible now if her kind can exist. With the fire burning between us rising as high as it does now, I'm afraid, deathly afraid, that the possibility might come sooner than I can figure all of this out. Fuck, I still can't think straight. I can't even believe the next words coming out of my own mouth. That out of everyone, I have to be the one saying these to them. This is more their forte than mine, keeping the peace, placating everyone, while I unintentionally aggravate people with badly chosen words. Funny how fast the tables have been turned after just one unfortunate incident. How am I even supposed to cope?
If we all want to get out of this mess in one piece,
My favorite
we
word,
have to
bro.
cool our heads first.
Yes, thank you. Journal update. Jesus. Silly time to argue. After spending the night at a local park, Ashton and his friends tried to figure out what the next step will be. However, coupled with fatigue and stress, the conversation quickly went downhill. Frustrated, Ashton walked out, suggesting they cool their heads first. Before my own temper flares, I walk away and slide back into the car. If the door slams with more force than needed, I'd like to blame it on the pent-up anger boiling up in me. I'm not even sure what or who I'm angry at. The ghost? At them? Maybe at myself for being this useless? Because despite none of them saying it, I know, goddammit, they're still counting on me. In spite of all my failures, or every harsh word I've uttered, or how unbearable I can be as a friend. It's there when the tension after the argument finally breaks, and one by one they follow me and get in the car. It's in concerned glances they shoot my way when I start the engine without a word and drive off. It's in their silence, a heavy gift, their unwavering trust. Yet, it's one I'm more than willing to carry, even through my own exhaustion, if only to keep them safe. In this city of 68,000 strangers, they're the only ones I have left. Aww, it's cute. Though, in all seriousness, a good rest will still be our best bet for now. Go to the sleepy sheepin. It's time. Thinking with an exhausted brain is almost as good as running around in circles. We might as well just throw ourselves at the ghost and be done with this. Oh, we're going to the bar instead. The local Irish pub may not be the best place to hang around when one hasn't slept a wink or you're stressed. More than often, it's loud. Sometimes the music played by drunkards grates the ears and the whole place smells like piss on a bad day. All in all, it's the very definition of the last place I'll hang around after a wakeful night, but it's safe. Or as safe as it can be with G's security watching the place. Makes it easy to find help in case you find yourself in a tight spot. The place being owned by a person I've implicitly placed my trust on provides some semblance of comfort too. Gregor, Bartender G, or just G to his regular patrons, might be rough around the edges. Sometimes a bit too gruff for a man serving drinks behind the counter, but he belongs to the good folk of the city. If there's anyone in this place I can rely on to look after people important to me, it's probably him. He means well, surprisingly, despite his surly demeanor, cares to some extent. For people he likely only sees once or twice a week or on a bad day. Not the best job in the world, in my opinion, but that's exactly it, isn't it? In wine, there is truth. Alcohol, in this case. It loosens the tongue, forces one to let his or her guard down. Whatever inhibitions anyone has, it all flies. What the? Why isn't it scrolling down? Oh, there. It all flies straight out the window after a few glasses. It has made him observant too. Always has one or two things to say about someone or something. Most of the time it's me. Opinionated ass. But God knows how many times I've asked for his help. When I met with a dead end in a case or I'm in trouble. This time's no different. As expected, the moment we show up, he's kind enough to offer us a room at the back of his shop. A single look at my face, I don't even need to say anything, and the next thing we know, he's leading us in. No questions asked. Maybe it's also for this reason why I find myself drifting towards his station hours later, after having gotten that much needed shut-eye. Newly washed drinking glasses and tumbler lines in the counter surface when I enter the room. Behind the bar, G's busy wiping each of them clean, likely prepping it for tonight's use. Briefly, he glances up at me once I claim one of the empty stools and grab rock glasses, sitting closest to my elbow. Nice look. Turning it absent-mindedly in my palm just to keep my hands occupied while my brain's busy still trying to make sense of everything. Even at a dead hour, with only a few patrons milling about, this place still smells strongly of liquor. Honestly, I've never grown fond of it. Regardless of how many times I made a trip or sat here on the same spot, just talking with that old man. I've never been fond of drinking in the first place. Yet oddly, it's the nasty odor of a brewery that helps clear the mind this time, along with the lack of establishment's usual hubbub and the occasional clinking of glasses. Even more bizarre is that, though my lack of words, G doesn't say anything. Although it's clear from the way his mouth has curved up in a tight frown that he has questions, a bucket load of it, he wisely keeps it shut. Instead, he simply focuses back on his work. Rinse, wipe, stash away, repeat, going through the motions with such familiarity, it's almost a trance. Watching his precise movements quietly like this with these thoughts swimming inside my head, it's easy to lose track of everything around me. One solid lead on this, one possible way to sort this out, but will it work? Especially if my assumption's correct and the reason Zach was there yesterday morning because of the curse. Something must have happened for him to see the need to visit that place that morning. What if the couple falls victim to the curse too? It doesn't fall out of the realm of possibility. I've been so biased, not even thinking that they might be in danger as well. But during the open house with Isabella, they might have seen the letter and... Fuck.
Stupid. Some fucking detective I am.
That's likely the moment when Cooper saw it. If the logic holds, I need to hurry there right away. If there are answers anywhere, it would be there. It should be there, where all this fucking mess started. It's not only my life on the line here, there are others. What happened to us, I won't wish on anyone else, no matter how much I loathe them. Or how complicated all of this has suddenly become. The letter, the woman, the mansion, and now there are the voices lacing venom inside every crevice in my head, murmurs that jeer, scoff, and deride whenever an opportunity presents itself. What the heck is that? Oh, it's their voices. Stuffed friend voices.
Why won't you believe me?
A reminder of what I've failed to do and who I've failed. At some point, they all begin to blur together, twinning and coiling, every horrid image and memory of her seeking the forefront of my mind. No matter how much I refuse to remember the fear I felt then, to push it as far back as I can, the visions come to me like a deluge. And before I know it, before I can drown, another voice pulls me out of it.
You're doing good there, boy.
Thanks, G. His hand is on my shoulders, gripping it tightly and giving me a light shake. What's up, bro? There's relief in his face when I finally look up at him, although his frown appears more distinct than the concern in his eyes. It's deeper now, marred with worry and agitation. He does let go when I offer him a small nod, but the furrow between his eyebrows never leaves his face. He always has a knack for reading people, after all, even someone who can be as closed off or distant like me. In all the time I spent in the force, there's only one other person who's been as keen as this old guy, the chief. Funny and weird to some degree. I pointed it out to him so many times before how much they looked alike, only for the observation to be brushed off with a vehement tone. I've never brought it up again after the third time, out of respect for the guy. Whatever it is, it's clear it's something he doesn't want to talk about. What, is he actually related to the chief somehow? That'd be weird. Why push, right? However, during times like this, it's impossible for the thought not to come up, even as it glare down pat. Under his wordless scrutiny, I feel like the damn rookie again.
You're looking a bit green. Sure you got plenty of rest back there? You were only out for an hour or two. Wouldn't hurt to
Ah,
try to
so
get
we
some
already
sleep.
slept.
I'll
I
keep
guess
an eye
that made
out.
sense. I was kind of wondering what he meant by when he said they went to the back, but then he pulled up to the bar. But I get it now.
No need. Don't worry about me. I won't be able to get some sleep anyway.
Not with her face still. A clear picture in my head. No.
Heard that from you before. Not buying it. What's the story this time? This as bad as that case with the guy who ate his own eyeball?
I wish it were. Jesus, stop reminding me. I hated that case.
Bro, he was just chilling.
If I didn't know any better, I'd say you get a kick out of telling people about it.
It's useful, you know, for blokes who don't know their limits. Sends them right out the door after I start with a description. Or was it the part when the poor schmuck gouged his eyes out? Nasty, awful, icky stuff, and it gets the job done. Like I said, useful. Don't even need to call security these days if I want to kick someone out. Anyway, pretty sure that pales in comparison to whatever this is now. Haven't seen you this stressed out since they closed that case. The one from 10 years ago with your professor friend.
Abigail and her team weren't able to solve that one, G. No one has been able to. It just went cold.
If Abigail can't do it, no one can.
Same difference. But what do I know, eh? I just serve drinks, listen to people's problems and their whining, then make sure they get home safe afterwards.
What if G is a clone of the freaking chief? No. What if he is the mastermind behind it all?
Thing is,
I don't know.
I'm also not blind, kiddo. And you can bet your ass I can tell when a person's about to fall apart.
What? Is this some form of therapy from you? Are you going to offer me free drinks now?
Really, I can use some right now. Something to numb the senses. But when has that helped anyone?
In your dreams, kid. Last time someone gave you the hard stuff, your photographer friend had to haul you out of this place almost half naked.
Oh.
Hey, I can handle my liquor when I put my mind to it.
Not from what I've seen, nope. Besides, you usually avoid drinking. Either way, it's out of the equation. And when booze no longer counts, we just talk. So, talk. It's not like anyone within earshot will care. That chap over there only wants his cricket matches.
I doubt you believe it, G.
I've heard worse stuff. Try me.
We'll test. We'll test what you know.
You know that mansion down at Anslum?
Yeah, who doesn't? You live in this town long enough, it's impossible not to hear a thing or two about it. Bloody locals.
Well, my friend found a primitive version of a chain letter in there. Now that we've seen it, we're cursed.
A beat passes. It's awkward. For a long moment, she stands there unmoving. His hand stops short of placing the glass he's been wiping prior back to the rack on his left. All while he stares at me with eyes that are nothing short of scrutinizing. He's probably assuming I'm joking. Who wouldn't? Not a week ago, I've been put in the same position. Flashback. Even now, in spite of the things I've seen and heard, it simply won't sink in. Or maybe this is just the desperation creeping in. The idea that I may not be able to find a way out of this. Whatever the case is, for people who hasn't experienced what I'm going through, this will merely sound like an awful Halloween prank.
It's not a prank.
This must have been what Isabella felt the whole time we made fun of her that day.
This isn't a prank. I saw something.
Now it's too late. We're stuck in a never-ending nightmare, where the only way out might be death. And like I've expected, G's reaction to it, an amused laughter. It booms throughout the whole pub after a long bout of silence, like I've just told him a particularly funny joke.
Okay. Good one, kid. You don't want to spill. No one's forcing you.
Rip.
Seriously, though. Good one.
kind of expected G to actually help somehow, but unlucky. Although I want to be angry with him, I can't find it in myself. Can't even muster the energy for a scowl or a glare. Nothing but a taste of my own medicine to temper the annoyance bubbling up in me, I suppose. In the end, echoing her words is the best I can do.
It's not a joke.
Yeah, alright, good luck with that. You're on your own. Here I thought you didn't have an ounce of humor in that body. Guess I'm wrong.
Jeez. He shakes his head, lets out another chuckle before returning to his task. By now, almost half the glasses have been put away. The only ones remaining are the smaller kind used for shots and the stemmed ones for cocktails. Despite being busy with his task, his amusement does not entirely disappear from his face. He keeps talking as if I'm simply another customer he entertains with his stories. But we both know it's more than that. It's the wistful expression on him says anything.
Man, can't believe you're the same rookie who walked in here almost a decade ago. Too smart for his own good, that boy. Has always been 2 steps ahead of things. Now he's here, sulking.
I must have screwed up somewhere then.
I must have screwed up a lot. For things to suddenly shift like this, for me to become a mere shadow of the person I used to be.
Nah, I don't think so. This one, screwed up? Not by a mile. It's too early to say. You've still got several years ahead of you, Holmes. Take it easy. But some things change, eh? It has been years, and you were a kid back then. You know, the sort that's a bit unsure, making all the horrible decisions in life he'd eventually be embarrassed to talk about.
You never stop calling me kid, though.
Well, you still are. It's just that this time, you're sure of who that badge and gun is for. What was it you police types usually say? To protect and serve, yeah?
Is that like just a global message? I feel like that's what we use in Canada too. A significant pause follows at its heels from both of us as he allows its meaning to sink in and spur something in me, stirring a feeling both heavy and forceful but not completely unwelcome. Familiar. Though, before I can clarify what he's even trying to imply or gather my thoughts on the matter, G turns away to begin his work on the silverwares. Oops, not load. Journal. After the argument at the park, Ashton took his friends someplace where they could rest. G welcomed them to his pub without question. While the others were sleeping, the detective and the bartender had a little chat about the past and what had changed over the years. He'll need those 2 once more of his patrons come in for lunch. Slow and easy. A sharp contrast with the strained air we've been wading through these past weeks. A fleeting moment, but one I allow myself to relish, if only because its absence lately. The way things are now, this is almost a gift. So when it all ends with the loud shuffling of foot from the adjacent hallway, a sigh is all that leaves me. There's no need for me to look up to know who it is. Zat's treads alone are telling. There's always a weighted set to them, steps that are taken with a lazy cadence. Like he's always trying to make himself smaller, less conspicuous than he actually is. In a place he's unfamiliar with, he also tends to linger, stand awkwardly at the sides, as if he's all too afraid to break something. That, or he's waiting for permission of some kind. Either way, he's never been the kind to barrel headfirst into things or forgo courtesy, despite appearances. Much like how Rebecca's mother, Henning, bellies her fiery temperament, or Isabella's rare display of maturity appears at odds with her youth. There have been a lot of those in my life, it seems, more so from people I've grown closer to over the years. Walking contradictions, we all are. It's a wonder how we ended up as friends in the first place. But maybe that's also exactly why. To some extent, there's still an understanding in there, in knowing. That no matter how long you've been together, or how familiar you are with a person's habits, or how many lifetimes there might be for all of you, one can never fully know a person. Sometimes it works because they merely chose to stay. Sometimes it's as simple as someone extending a hand first for an apology, regardless of every hurtful word said.
Hey, Ash.
Honestly, you don't really have much to apologize for, Zachary. You were trying. You were just frustrated to see other girls that need to make up. Probably just with themselves, to be fair. This time I glanced at him, briefly gauging the mood. Not because reconciliation's an issue for me. Between us, it will never be. But somehow, this is another thing I am all too afraid to see crumble in front of me. One wrong word, if this is going to end in another argument, we might as well just stop early as now. There's another long pause from him, during which he can't seem to figure out what to do with his hand. In the end, he chooses to stuff both into his pockets and train his eyes at a now empty space behind the counter. Where's it? Look at Zach's face from it. Looks like he's about to cry. I don't know if that's normal or not. Maybe I'm just imagining it. Without our notice, G has slipped back into the kitchen, leaving only the two of us and everything awkward in the world at the moment. Still, Zach trudges on, a hopeful tone slipping into his voice, simply because it's the only thing he knows how to do. Or he knows to do.
Did you get any sleep?
It's a start at least. A stiff one, but a start. The least I can offer in return is that rare honesty.
For a few hours, yeah.
Curt, brusque, not an ounce of friendliness in it. Sounded a little cute, not really brusque. In spite of it, Zach takes it as a sign. Relief washes over him as his shoulders relax, and he releases a tense breath. Soon he's closing the distance he has put between us and flops onto the chair to my right.
I think the better question is if the dreams are pleasant. And for the record,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Personally, I do enjoy dreaming of Kyoto. Though maybe it's different with stuffed Kyoto. Maybe that's not as pleasant. I mean, I don't know if I'd mind dreaming about her. He shifts in his seat, coughs, drums his fingers on the counter for a short while, then falls silent. That's it, no apologies. Somehow that short exchange is all we need. There are changes much like everything we've known lately. Maybe not for the better, not yet. However, it's less suffocating, with less hostility and resentment, the kind where it's easy to pretend, easy to forget. Not that it's a thing that'll happen anytime soon, but one can dream. In a situation where death might come knocking at any time, it's these little hope we cling to. It's these little things we wish will happen again. I'm not an optimistic person by nature. Hopeful, maybe, but never optimistic. Though I want to believe there's a way we'll live through this nightmare. It's just funny how it took all of this to spur these kind of thoughts in me. I can't even remember the last time something like this has occurred to me. Excuse me. For some reason, after seeing one harrowing thing after another, I've simply forgotten.
Why are you suddenly smiling like that?
huh? Oh, no, I was just thinking about something.
Well, it better be something that'll get us out of this mess.
What makes you think I know how to fix this?
I think that was
2 days
just...
ago, I didn't even believe a word you guys have been telling me.
I think I'm just tripping. I don't think Zach was trying. I think that was his normal face, and I'm just... My vision is blurring because I'm tired.
Zach, I function better when I'm dealing with homicide cases. Hell, feel free to throw in the usual robbery and missing persons case into the mix. I don't care. Give me a few days and I'll give you a lead. This isn't how I operate. This isn't what I'm good at. For all you know, I might even end up getting us killed. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Well, the fact that you're frustrated but still trying already means something, Ash. Besides,
Well said.
you don't make that face unless you already have an idea. It can't be any worse than this. Maybe. What's on your mind, Ash?
There really is something about Z-Man. Between Rebecca and him, I tend to share things with him I normally won't say to the other. Unlike her, who pushes, sometimes with the same tenacity as her moods, Zack has this strange tendency to ease people into telling him what he wants to know. Oftentimes, the question feels so subtle, it catches me off guard, with less force and more forbearance. After all, out of everyone, he's the most grounded. Really, he's like the older brother I've never had, the kind you can depend on when things go sour. The kind that you tell things to simply because he'll listen, without forcing his own opinions on you.
We still have one more lead we haven't checked.
Before we start explaining and probably regrouping with the others, I think I'm gonna end it. It is late, and I am sleepy. It's been a good one, though. No spooks, but good time. Little fighting here and there, but we're recoupling. Ashton's kind of getting his confidence back. Met G again, best side character. And yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed. This episode's been a little weird, just because I've been feeling a little weird, but because it's late. But maybe that's fun. I think that's kind of fun. Get a little spiced up. Anyways, I'm gonna end the episode here. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and maybe I'll see you next time. Bye bye.